Hey everyone, it's the Spirited Drop from the back of the taxi, and I wanted to share with you that we did a very successful psychic supper this week. So this was an idea that I've been cooking up with the Nansen Club here in Singapore for some time, and we finally found a time where members were in town and we could do it. And what it involved was I was hosting, and we had six very beautiful psychics from my psychic development circles in the Spirited Living membership, who volunteered to be involved with the night, and I left it to them to see if they were sort of confident enough to do it. But they have been diligently coming to the weekly psychic development circles, and so we agreed that the idea of the night was a beautiful candlelit dinner. It was part of the March celebrations of International Women's Day, although we did have one very brave man that came with his girlfriends, but otherwise it was just tables of beautiful women, all from different walks of life. Some of them didn't know each other, so some came with friends. And then the team of psychics were all dressed in white, which we agreed, and then there was a psychic on each table, and then we decided that we'd have a side table for anyone who wanted to have a more in-depth read. And our intention for the evening was that we wanted to raise awareness of what psychism is and the psychic senses and how psychics work, and we wanted people to walk away with inspired by the capacity of their mind, what they're capable of, and particularly as well to dispel ideas around that psychic is super spooky and woo-woo and that sort of thing, because this team of women who were working as the psychics for the evening are really happening women. Like, one of them's a music producer, one of them organises global sporting events in Singapore, one of them's a financial advisor, one of them is a nurse who runs like a first aid training school, and I'm sure I've forgotten a few there, but that financial advisor, I think I said that, ex-banking, one of them's an executive coach. These are happening successful women who also happen to know they're psychic and are dedicated to their development. It was an amazing night. It was so much fun. The Nansen dressed up the room. It looked really groovy. They had candelabras. It was dimly lit. There was beautiful music, and we organised our reads we're a bit organised, so we. We decided that we would do personality reads at the table that we were working at. I floated in case any of the psychics sort of put up a hand and needed help, and no one did. And we weren't using any tools for that, so doing personality reads, we agreed we'd keep it really positive, like reading the talents and the skills and the wonderful characteristics of each of the women around the table. And then when the main course came out, we brought out the tools. So we had dowsing rods and pendulums and tarot, and we explained on each table how these work, and people got to have a go. And then over dessert we had psychic bingo, which I absolutely love playing, and which my developing psychics were a bit nervous about because it takes it to another level. And this is where everyone wrote their names on a place card. It went into a fishbowl. You didn't know who the person was, you didn't know the name. You pull it out of the fishbowl, the psychic does, read the name, lean into that person via their name, and give a reading. And then after they've got some information out, they read out the name, and the person that they're reading puts up their hand and says either, yeah, that's me, I can take all of that, or no, that's not quite right. And that went brilliantly. So we had a couple of our psychics do it, and then what we were surprised about and also really thrilled about is that there are a couple of women in the audience as guests who got up and wanted to try it, and my goodness, they were fantastic reads. And it just reminded me, watching the developing psychics work and also the guests just messing around, having fun with the dowsing rods and the pendulums, and also trying the psychic bingo, how much opens up if you just feel safe and you give yourself permission And it was a very safe feeling that night. Like, everyone was happy to be there. It was really funny. I love emceeing those kind of nights because already the vibe is fantastic. There were mic drop moments with the reads, and a couple of these women gave themselves permission to just give it a try, and they did brilliantly. It was amazing. So that was, just a fantastic milestone for the psychics in my community. For me, it's a brilliant offering. I'll definitely be putting it up on my website, the Psychic Supper. So I hope that's got you thinking. And of course, if you want to develop your psychic abilities, then you can join my membership, which is spiritedlivingwithdanny.com, or my amazing teacher, psychic medium Christine Morgan, is going to be in Singapore again from the 4th to the 7th of May, and she will be doing some training in psychic awareness, mediumship, and tea leaf reading. How cool is that? So if you're in Singapore early May, get in touch. All right, everyone, have a good evening. Bye.